The UNICEF education specialist in Akure, Mr. Motala Mohammed, has advised the federal government to collaborate with stakeholders in the education sector in implementing the template for safe reopening of schools. Mohammed gave the advice at the end of a 3-day stakeholders dialogue on school reopening readiness, organized by the Federal Ministry of Education in partnership with UNICEF in Ibadan.
The issue of monitoring should be very important. We need to monitor what's happening at school level and what's happening at local government level, and what's happening also at classroom level in terms of responding to uh, school reopening. Secondly, government need to reinvest, plan to have a separate budget to really put in money and resources in solving the challenges that has to do with school reopening. And government also need to have a very robust communication system. The communication strategy should be very robust in the sense that the parents and the teachers will be in the pictures of what is happening in terms of communication.
Mr. Sunday Ogunkunle, Deputy Director Education, who represented the Minister of State for Education, Mr. Chukwumanwa Joba, commended the decision reached at the stakeholders' dialogue held across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
The closure of schools at all levels invariably impacted the educational sector like every other sector. We will recall that the decision to close schools was part of government's strategy to curtail the spread of the virus, as well as the school environments were considered to be veritable grounds to spread the virus. However, in the course of time and consequent upon the trend of the spread of the virus, the need to ease the lockdown and presidential task force taking directives from the Mr. President based on informed opinion allowed the partial opening of schools, particularly to allow students in their terminal classes to resume and write their examinations. This did not come without very serious challenges which we are all aware of nationwide. The closure and the ease down period, particularly as regards the closure of schools, have lasted for about 7 months. Generally, through the concerted efforts of governments at all levels, there is a caution belief and understanding that the pandemic curve has started flattening. This news provides the impetus for a positive hope that things are getting better. Regrettably, learners have lost a lot of grounds as far as education is concerned.
He said that it is in view of the above that the ministry considered it expedient to hold the stakeholders meeting to plan and address the eventual safe reopening of all schools and learning facilities nationwide.
Accordingly, the Federal Ministry of Education developed the Safe School Readiness Template for an integral approach to safe school reopening, which comes with many lessons. The template requires the full engagement of all stakeholders, which is considered a sine qua non for successful implementation. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that great accomplishments are made based on synergy. It is on this premise that we are all here to deliberate and adopt the template for safe school reopening and learning facilities. The template has some key roles and shared responsibilities to be played by the stakeholders at national, state, local government, and school levels. It is imperative to ask ourselves this question: what are you doing in your state that is different from what is in the template?